What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and we've reached the end of the year. And after checking out so many amazing smartphones and even flying to China and visiting the factories, it's been a very exciting year as well. And it really makes me look forward to the next year of smartphone innovations that has been led by folding phones, flipping phones, and seeing what each company does. Some of which focus on the camera, other focus on the software and UI. Everyone is focusing on AI technology, but when it comes to hardware, who is able to innovate? And today we're doing a 3-month review with the Honor Magic V3 foldable phone and why it is the best folding phone that I reviewed in 2024. For the first part, its tagline is that it is the world's thinnest folding phone. And throughout the year, I feel like that title was held by a few companies, but now that we're at the end of the year, it is still the world's thinnest folding phone, coming in at just 9.26 millimeters for the black colored model and 9.3 millimeters for the rest. And when unfolded, it is just 4.35 millimeters, which is truly impressive. And it features a triple camera setup that includes a 100x capability, 50 megapixels on 2 of the cameras, 40 megapixels on the third, but it also had an increase in battery size compared to its predecessor at 5,150 milliamp hours, 66 watt wired fast charging, and 50 watt wireless charging. And I think that is crazy because you take a look at just how thin the phone is, the fact that it was able to have wireless charging coils and still able to reach that capability is impressive. And on top of that, the display has a peak HDR brightness of 5,000 nits. And I think the other aspect of hardware is some companies have gone with a more like bulkier design that is a slim brick, such as Samsung, but then you take a look at Google, who has gone with a wider design approach. And I like those options as well, but I feel like the Honor Magic V3 is the perfect middle ground. When it comes to the finish as well, I checked it out in all 3 color options. In the black model that is officially the thinnest, as well as in the green option. And this one right here is kind of like in a premium finish that has a red leather back and a nice rose gold trim around the side with some patterning along here. I really like the leather finish, which I feel like has become a trend in quite a few Chinese phones, and I think it should continue. I personally love leather as a texture. I do have some concerns as to when you damage it, you can't really replace it, but I mean, having the feel of the phone being leather without a case is an awesome feeling to have. And I also like the fact that the screen is not completely flat, but it is also not too curved as well. It is just a nice round and tapered balance without being too rounded, if you know what I mean. Durability is also a very important factor in these devices, and thankfully the Honor Magic V3 has an IPX8 rating, which gives you submersion of under 1.5 meters of water for 30 minutes, which I guess is a rare scenario, but as you can see here, for day-to-day spills such as water, coffee, or whatever it is, this phone can withstand it just fine. And as I mentioned, the 6.43-inch display has a peak HDR brightness of 5,000 nits, a standard brightness of 1,600 nits, and it also has a 120 hertz refresh rate that you can either set to dynamic or always in the high refresh rate. And because it is an LTPO display, it also has like an eye care mode and the ability to drop down to 1 hertz, which gives it a great battery life. But I feel like this phone in particular, because of its shape, is great for productivity. It is more of a square when it opens up, and as a result, you're able to have 2 entire windows side by side for information and text, and you can also utilize the AI features to be able to multitask with this screen. For anyone who is consuming a lot of multimedia and really taking advantage of this display for work and for enjoying movies, TV shows, and videos, Honor's Eye Care Comfort display also checks off every single box. With the IE's display, you have the option to enable defocus eye care, as well as natural tone, eye comfort that come together in just softening the screen as well as its tones and the frequency dimming, which all come together in delivering the most extensive set of eye care that I've seen on a phone. And when it comes to performance, this phone is obviously one that was able to handle absolutely everything. It isn't something that I really have to worry about with any flagship phone nowadays, but I found that it was very smooth to use in both the dual display, very fluid. Apps that I was able to run on it include photo editing, of course, because that is something that you want to take advantage of with a screen of the size. It absolutely flies through everything, and it also gives you confidence when it comes to gaming as well. I feel like that is a popular use case for these phones because you can just hold it like this. It makes it a lot easier to grip. You can also fold it up halfway, but yeah, generally speaking, when it came to performance, it was super fluid. And funny enough, even on like an expensive top-end smartphone like the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold, I found that I ran into some weird glitches here and there when it first came out. And after having the smartphone for a few months, letting it have the updates and improving on certain things, it has been a really smooth experience. I will say, Magic OS is not exactly the cleanest. It has a lot of things going on, a ton of software, and I know generally speaking their market is China and Europe, and in a Western market we're used to like a very clean experience, and I would say that there is a lot of pre-installed software that I personally have disabled or deleted for the most part because I just don't really use it. When it comes to the AI features, Honor has what they call the Magic Portal, which allows you to do things such as circle gestures for image search, one-click access to Google image search and other applications. You can also take advantage of features like translation in plain sight, which allows you to use text and voice, which I got a full demo of at IFA in Berlin. And of course, when it comes to photo editing, you can use AI Eraser, which is unbeaten when it comes to precision, to allow you to just quickly draw something that you want to remove, and it will be able to do that like magic in your device. Another example where the AI Eraser might be more commonly used is for removing people from pictures. So you can see in this landmark photo right here, there's always going to be tourists around. And so if you want to be able to remove that, the AI Eraser is very quickly and easily able to do that. And I think that's a scenario where it shines the most. And the fact that you can do it on device so quickly is awesome. There's also common AI features such as being able to create and summarize notes, which is something that we see with like Google Gemini as well as Microsoft Copilot AI. And again, their own interpretation of it utilizes platforms such as Google, as well as the specific form factor and Magic OS of the device to bring you Magic Portal to then use the power and the split screen capability to take advantage of AI when it comes to productivity and your day-to-day life. As for the cameras, I would say that Honor has a very strong package here. On here, you have a 50 megapixel main camera that has an f1.6 aperture, as well as a 50 megapixel optical periscope camera that gives you 100x hybrid zoom as a result of the high resolution and the optical zoom. And in addition to that, you have a 0.5x 40 megapixel camera. So I would say they haven't really cut any corners there. When it comes to the resolution, the sensor size, all of those aspects have really been focused on. And for actual photo samples, I've always found that Honor's cameras were definitely pretty solid. The bar has been pushed very high. Vivo as well as Google have delivered some amazing cameras, and of course Samsung has always been in the leading edge of that, but Honor I would say is right there. It's always nice to showcase the versatility of a camera, and this device is able to capture photos, as I mentioned, in 0.6, 1x, 2x, 3.5x, as well as a hybrid zoom up to 100x. And that is because the periscope telephoto camera is a 50 megapixel resolution. And so for landmarks like this, you can see just how much detail I'm able to get from such a far distance away. So at the end of the day, we've talked about everything with this phone since it was released. And I think it really came down to comparing it to some of the other options on the market that have come out this year to truly decide as to whether or not this is the ultimate folding phone and the best overall for 2024. And here are the facts. It is the world's thinnest folding smartphone made to date. It is multiple millimeters thinner than what Samsung has to offer and quite a bit thinner than what Google has to offer as well. In addition to that, it has great build quality, very durable, good hinge execution without any exposed areas, and on top of that, one of the most minimal creases on the market. The display specs also all check out. It has the highest peak brightness, it has LTPO, eye care technology, high refresh rate with the ability to drop down to just 1 Hz. And you also get 5150 milliamp hours of battery, wireless charging, fast charging, all of the device barely fits a USB Type-C port. on the bottom. I mean, it is truly impressive when it comes to the hardware. The software is one that I've had more of a mixed experience with, and I think one of the biggest drawbacks is that it is not natively available in North America. I think out here, it would be a very, very compelling option. And I think Honor has done an excellent job in delivering a device that has checked off every single box that a good folding phone needs to in 2024 and heading into 2025. I'm really excited for the future of these devices. And as always, if you guys enjoyed it, make sure you go ahead and drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.